Welcome. I have a very important lesson for you guys today and a delicious meal that is going to come together in 10 or 15 minutes that you can do today, probably with stuff you have already at home without even having to go to the grocery store. Okay? Are you ready? Let's do it. All right. My name is Avi Green. I am a healthy gourmet chef, and I live to teach my fellow mamas how to prepare healthy, gourmet, delicious food that helps them to lose weight, helps them to feel more energized, helps them to save time in the kitchen, and helps them to teach their kids how to love healthy, delicious food. And so today we're talking about playing, having fun with cooking. A lot of people feel like cooking is not fun, or like, I don't know how to cook, I can't cook, it's too hard to follow the recipe. And I am here to tell you, this is one of the main takeaways that I want you to get from this, is that cooking is fun and we can have fun with it. The blog this week is called Play With Your Food, and I just was thinking about how fun it is to watch a child, a baby, that's like under the age of 1, experience food for the first time. And we can kind of tap into that innocent curiosity with food. Think about how a baby experiences food for the first time. They're touching it with their hands, or feeling it, smelling it, they're observing it at different angles. They might be making sounds with it, and of course tasting it. And so that idea, that kind of principle, is something that we can apply in the kitchen as well. And if you tune into my blog this week, you will see that I've listed like 5 different ways to help it be more enjoyable to cook in the kitchen. But as I was even typing the blog, I was thinking, now how am I going to demonstrate that in the video? And I couldn't think of what I was gonna do. And then I realized, you know what I should do? I should just see whatever I have on hand, not go to the grocery store, just see whatever I have in hand and see what I can put together for the people to just show you how empowered you are, how easy it is to make something delicious, easy, nutritious. Now, one thing I wanna talk to you about is, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, well, Avi, that dish is not authentic fill in the blank of any type of cuisine. That dish is not authentic Mexican food because you're not Mexican, or you weren't taught by a Mexican. Or that dish is not authentic Japanese food, or Chinese food, or Persian food, or Italian food, like fill in the blank, right? Because I'm not classically trained by a chef of those cuisines or somebody who is from those places. That's okay. Guess what? At some point, whatever those delicious foods that we ascribe to a certain cuisine, at some point, those meals did not exist. There was a person in their kitchen, maybe a chef, maybe a home cook in their kitchen saying, what do I have? What can I put together? Put it together and goes, dang, that came out really good. And the dish is born, right? And that same person, somebody said to them, well, that's not authentic of our kind of cuisine. But guess what? Now it is. So let go of that idea that you need to follow a recipe, or that it needs to be authentic, something certain kind of cuisine. It does not. This is the beauty of cooking, is that you can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You can taste, you can adjust. Not so with baking, right? Baking is chemistry, but cooking allows for a lot of expression, personal expression. So let's get started. Honestly, all of these things were just laying around in my refrigerator. So we're gonna start with a carrot, and here's a really fun way to peel a carrot really fast. Just rub the peeler around the carrot as you turn. There's a fun little trick for you. And so what we're making here, and what you can probably make today with just food that you have laying around, what I found in my refrigerator is just some leftover pieces of things from Meal Prep Monday. So I have a little bag of cooked rice. A lot of people buy rice that is already cooked and frozen, so you might have a bag of frozen rice. That works perfectly. I have some eggs, and see if you can think of what I'm going to be making with this. I have rice, I have some eggs, I have some fresh vegetables, I have some like a 1/4 cup of cooked broccoli stems, random, right? I have a little bit of chicken, shredded chicken left over. I've got some celery, some green onions, some kale. What do you think? Do you have an idea? Well, I'll tell you, we're making fried rice. And it's so easy, and it does not require any recipe at all. Just a few simple ingredients of whatever you have lying around. So start the timer now. I'm starting to cook right now, and let's see how quickly this comes together, okay? As for seasonings, I have salt and pepper. I have some fresh ginger, which is always delicious. I have some sesame oil along with my avocado oil. And I do have a really yummy Korean hot sauce that I love. It's called gochujang, which you can find, I think you can find it at the grocery store now. This I ordered special because it's vegan and gluten-free, but because usually they use wheat to make that, but if you are okay with that, that's fine. So I have avocado oil and sesame oil. I'm gonna add the carrots first because that is what takes the longest. They're dense, okay? I have some fresh ginger, which is a wonderful ingredient to any Asian type flavored foods. So I'm just gonna cut around the skin. By the way, the skin is edible. You don't have to take it off. I just am. And I'm just gonna cut that up really small as well. Super flavorful. Ginger is very, very potent in flavor, so a little goes a long way. And also, by the way, ginger is a great anti-inflammatory food. So incredibly good for you. So again, that's another one that kind of takes a while to cook. So I'm not even adding all of that. I'm gonna add that to my carrots. I'm adding it with the things that take the longest to cook, I'm adding first, okay? So next I'm gonna take some fresh celery, just chopping everything up pretty small. And we're just making, so this has so many variations, you don't need a recipe, that's the thing. You just throw in what you have. These are the things that I had. I didn't go to the store, so it's not costing me any more money. This is just leftovers, okay? I am gonna add a little bit of fresh garlic. So some of the tips that I have in the blog post for making cooking more enjoyable has to do with, well, here's an obvious one. Puts music on, you know? Like the music that puts you in a good mood. I love to have music on while I'm cooking. I also love experiencing the cooking experience with all of my senses. So I'm listening to the sounds. You know, when I chop up garlic, I get to take my aggressions out on the garlic by smashing it with the palm of my hand. So we got some fresh garlic, fresh ginger, fresh celery, fresh carrots. So simple. Okay, and now I am going to add a little bit more oil. So make sure that's good. I'm going to add the rice. So this is cooking up real nice. I'm adding the rice. Cooked rice is awesome because even if it's cooked perfectly, once it chills, it kind of gets a little bit stale, and that's a good thing because now it's going to come back to a really nice texture. It's not going to be overcooked, even though it was perfectly cooked initially. Okay? Now, on top of this is a one-pan thing, so it also doesn't make a lot of mess. I'm going to add, I had some shrimp in the freezer. I'm going to add my shrimp in here. Those cook up really fast too. Micah, I'm going to ask you to get me a cover for this. So here's the thing, you guys. My stove is a gas stove. And so this would come together even way faster with my gas stove. But we're cooking on electric, so it's a slower process, still gonna come together really fast. So now we have our eggs, 2 eggs, perfect. Set it on there for me, please. Thank you. That's great. That will help the heat to come through, okay, while we get everything else ready. So eggs, with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. One pan dish, you gotta love it. And this is a very popular dish in my house. Doesn't matter what ingredients I'm adding in there. If I tell my kids I'm making fried rice, they're all about it. This is gonna feed 3 hungry people, including myself. I haven't eaten anything yet today. It's just after 11:30, and so this is gonna be delicious. Okay, and then green onions will be the very last thing that I throw in there. So I want them to stay very vibrant and green and kind of crispy. What else do we have? Ooh, I know what else I wanted to add in there. So let's see. I'm gonna put the green onions on the side. Using a small cutting board today for some reason. Kale. I had a few kale leaves lying around. Cooked kale is delicious. When you're using kale, you don't really want to use the stems. The stems are very tough, so you just pull the leaves away from the stems. It's really easy. And then just give it a nice rough chop. Okay, so can you think of any meals that you've ever had or that you've ever created that just came together and you were like, wow, I just impressed myself. I made something new. I bet you guys have had Caesar salad before. That's a very popular dish. That was born that way. A chef in a kitchen with the last or first name Caesar just said, oh, well, I have some eggs, I have some anchovies, I have a lemon, and he just brought it together. Okay, so as you can see, this is already almost done. I'm going to add the kale. That's just going to get lightly cooked, and it smells so good in here. I also have some fresh spinach, because I don't want to waste food either. How much of a problem is that for you guys? Do you find that you waste food sometimes and you're throwing stuff away? You had a great intention of cooking it and you're ending up wasting it? That's frustrating, right? So spinach and green onions will be the very last thing we throw in here. Okay, and then we're going to season it with some coconut aminos, which is what I use instead of soy sauce. I'm just going to add a bit of coconut aminos. I'm going to add a tiny bit of rice vinegar for just a little bit of a nice little tang. I'm going to squeeze some of this Korean hot sauce, the gochujang, and then for the eggs, I'm just going to make a well in the center of the pan. I'm going to add just the last bit of my oil, and I'm going to just dump my eggs right in. Yep, there we go. Now, the residual heat of everything around it is going to help scramble those eggs. We have a very, very small mess. Basically just these couple of bowls, and we're just about done. I'm just going to season it to taste, add the last bit of fresh veggies, and what do you think? Do you see how quickly this came together? I don't know if you started your timer, but I'm looking at the clock and I see that this came together in about 10 minutes, and it's just about done. And wait till you see how beautiful and delicious. I'm going to actually turn some of this hot food onto the eggs to help it cook. Eggs scramble up so quickly. I'll add our final ingredients and give it a toss. And this is a gigantic serving. I'm only feeding 3 people right now, but guess what? I'm going to have food for my Eden when they come home from school, because Eden loves these flavors, loves fried rice. And guess what? If you're not eating rice, you can also use cauliflower and broccoli, riced up basically. You don't have to use a grain. This could be a totally, keto or paleo dish. But for us, we're more about not wasting and eating some hearty food. I'm gonna give it a little taste. It's done. That fast. Micah is excited. She's hovering. This is great. Look at how beautiful that looks, guys. Some scrambled egg, shrimp, chicken. This dish at an Asian restaurant is gonna be about $15. And we just made it with what we had at home. And we're feeding my hungry Micah, myself, and my man who's on his way up. Check it out. What do you think? I'm so excited for you guys to try this at home. I really, really want you to get empowered and realize cooking is fun. Play with your food, experiment with your food, and continue to follow me. This will be the last live Thursday Mama Avy's Kitchen video for a minute while I get ready to release my next full 8-week course. But in the meantime, you guys, follow me, reach out to me, offer me your suggestions, and check out my blog. MamaAvy.com is where you can reach me. That's where you can follow all my stuff. I love you guys. Mwah!